A strange man aiming a gun from a distance. A pneumatic gun with a plastic barrel that is empty of bullets and filled with shards of glass. His target is this office worker. Let's see what he does next. He shot glass shards into the tires of an oncoming car. As a result, the car lost control and crashed into the office worker. The extraordinary calculation of the shot turned the driver into the killer. The man smirked and then fled. Today we'll watch a movie about an assassin who specializes in disguising assassinations as accidents. This is Mike, a professional hitman working for an assassin organization led by Big Ray, a retired veteran assassin. Mike is the guild's best assassin. Although each assassination method is unique, Mike adored this big bearded man. Because of his fiery personality, his assassination method is also ferocious. However, his method of assassination is no longer popular among customers. The next guy who appears filthy is a poisoner who uses poison to soak his teeth in toothpaste or simply touches a cigarette with poisoned hands. The old man only took a few breaths before collapsing to the ground. Following that are Max and Mick, two former Special Forces members. They frequently disguise assassinations as ordinary street accidents, making police investigations impossible. Finally, there's Jane, a female assassin skilled with katana, and Fred, a fat old man with a sophisticated assassination method, with a gas he experimented with. This fat guy once assassinated an entire team. Milton, an important link in the assassination organization, walks in. He specializes in taking customer requests and then assigning jobs to assassins based on the client's specifications. Milton, the fat guy, is also in charge of the money. Mike received a lot of assassination missions because he is the best assassin. Mike once went on a mission to kill a drunk office worker. The office man returned in the middle of the night after finishing a full bottle of wine, not realizing Mike had crept into the house. When the drunk man saw the watch, he attempted to climb onto the chair and remove it. Mike predicted his every move. And when the drunk man stood up on the chair, Mike choked him from behind with a rope. The hanged drunk has no idea what happened. "Do you recognize me?" Mike simply said nothing and kicked the chair away. "Yes, I recognize you. You are worth $25,000. Mike is only concerned with money in this show. Mike doesn't care whether the person is good or bad. As long as money is involved, Mike will accept the mission. Mike returned after the assassination was over, taking a photo as evidence. Mike was then tasked with assassinating an entire rock band. He simply went inside quietly, acting as an audience member and chilling as the band played their final show. Mike flips a glass of water to the power supply because the band's power supply line is exposed. The band was singing with their electronic equipment when they were electrocuted. The audience was perplexed and had no idea what was going on. Mike will find a way to relax after each such assassination. He didn't do anything fancy, but simply went to a pub. He then gives the two security guards money to go somewhere else. Going inside, Mike noticed a gang of uncivilized thugs harassing a sexy lady. Mike's simping blood was then boiled. He did not hesitate to attack them one by one. The thugs rush toward Mike, despite their inferior fighting skills. Mike then unleashes the full force of his badass ability on the thugs. Despite having the ability to fight and assassinate professionally, Mike was once a bullied young man. The typical main character trauma flashback. A group of teenagers is chasing young Mike in this scene. They proceeded to bully him and force Mike to throw up his lunch money. But how can Mike afford to pay them all day with the little money he makes selling newspapers? He once caught a middle-aged man breaking into someone's house while carrying a gas cylinder, but he was not a gas employee. The house exploded seconds after the man entered it. Nothing happened when the man went outside. Mike, intrigued, followed. For weeks, I followed this man and discovered that he was an assassin who took money for assassination and then staged everything as an accident. Big Ray, it turns out. Mike tracked him down, pulled out the clip, and forced Big Ray to teach him his trade. He claimed that he had been bullied so much that he wanted to kill the leader but did not want to go to jail. Mike's determination is evident, as are his stealth abilities. It's only a matter of time before Mike turns into a professional assassin. Big Ray warned Mike that it was possible to accidentally kill the other guy. Mike crept into the house when the guy wasn't looking, stuck a piece of money on the antenna, and then hid under the blankets. Without a doubt, the guy returned. When he reached for the bill, Mike jumped out of the blankets and pushed him down, causing him to fall. Mike was overjoyed after this incident, but his assassination skills remained rudimentary. Big Ray has captured the image of him pushing the guy below. Mike will need to put in more practice time if he wants to become a badass. Big Ray then instructs him in all of his abilities. Big Ray teaches everything as if he were Mike's father, from gun blazing to staging an assassination that appears to be an accident. Mike has spent so much time in the organization that he is now a top-tier assassin. Milton once assigned him to assassinate a young accountant named Root, and the client paid him twice as much to kill him as quickly as possible. Mike accepted the mission without hesitation. He used a pneumatic shotgun with a glass-filled barrel. Mike kept a close eye en route and waited for a car to pass at the right angle. When the car arrived, he immediately opened fire, shooting glass fragments into the car's tire, causing the tire to deflect. The car turned and hit Root, killing him in what appeared to be an accident. Mike simply smirked and walked away, while his brother drove away in terror, believing he had just killed someone. That night, Milton called Mike and told him to go to the street where the client had promised to pay him for killing Root. Mike arrived late and was ambushed by another assassin. The armature assassin attempted to use various martial arts but was repeatedly defeated by Mike. You could shoot down from a high building or use dynamite to blow up the area as soon as I arrive. But instead you rush in and shoot like a thug. What a disgrace to the assassin trade. After saying that, Mike pulled him up and hit his throat, causing him to suffocate, before breaking his neck with force. Mike dragged him to the curb, placed the assassin's head on the sidewalk, and drew his motorcycle up next to his body, making it appear as if everything had happened by accident. According to the accident, the killer took the corner too quickly, lost control, and hit his head on the sidewalk step, breaking his neck. The armature assassin met a brutal end. Mike returned home after making everything appear natural. He receives a phone call from a woman named Charlie. She claims Mike's ex-girlfriend Beth is no longer alive. Mike and Beth apparently split up for a while. She works as an environmental activist. Because it is harmful to the environment, it has forced the closure of countless factories. Mike received the bad news and rushed to Beth's funeral, where he met Charlie. Charlie informs Mike that Beth was robbed by two thieves who were about to steal something when Beth returned. The two thieves murdered Beth because they were discovered. A terrible blunder. The police discovered the fingerprints of two thieves who were being investigated, but both died of drug overdoses a few days later. Not only that, but Charlie revealed that Beth was pregnant and that the child was Mike's. A true tragedy. Mike decided to investigate what happened after hearing what happened at Beth's old apartment. Mike goes inside and recreates the crime scene. With his expertise, he can easily determine that this is an assassination. Beth was found to have a certain amount of sleeping pills in her blood, according to the police investigation file Mike had obtained. The file stated that she was treated for a fear of flying, but Beth had never had this fear. Mike came to the conclusion that she was drugged and murdered, and that the crime scene was staged as a failed burglary, blaming two drug addicts by copying their fingerprints at the scene. Nick and Mac, it turns out, are the murderers. Enraged, Mike set out to find the other two guys and learn the truth. Nick and Mac saw Mike coming and admitted to doing it. They were given the task and simply felt like doing it. They argue that because Beth and Mike have already severed ties, they can do whatever they want. However, Beth is still pregnant, which Mick and Mac are unaware of. The two of them then brushed Mike aside, telling him to go home because it was all business. Mike rushed to attack first, enraged by their attitude. Fighting two former Special Forces members alone is nearly impossible, but Mike uses his badass assassin skills and the power of plot armor to overpower them. Mike's attacks became extremely powerful as a result of the attacks being launched extremely quickly and fiercely, as well as the training and assassination sessions. He elbowed and threw Mac back, then punched Mick in the stomach and face before delivering a 360 midair kick to Mick's face. Mike then goes to Charlie and informs her that Beth has been murdered and requests information about Beth. Charlie claims that Beth has a hard drive containing vital information, with a backup at her parents' home. Just then, the guild's bearded assassin arrived. Someone had sent him to kill Charlie. The bearded man is a fiery character. When he activates his fury mode, the bearded man begins chopping mindlessly. Charlie stabbed the bearded man in the shoulder with a knife while the bearded man was distracted, but he used his raw strength to counterattack. As a result, the bearded man was about to stab Mike with the knife when he tripped over the axe, killing him. Before dying, the bearded man revealed that Milton had sent him to murder Charlie. When Mike heard that, he told Charlie to go to Beth's parents' house and get the documents before calling him. Meanwhile, Mike arrives at Milton's house to force him to reveal who is behind the request to assassinate Charlie and Beth. As a result, he stated that the person was an accountant named Kent. Mike arranged to meet Charlie again after Charlie had obtained Beth's documents after learning the information. Beth, an environmentalist, went after an Indian oil company called Vancap, according to Charlie. The Vancap company was initially denied permission to drill for oil, but the company's director bribed the government to gain permission to drill in the sea. Beth was informed by an accountant named Root at that Vancap company. That's right, Mike got rid of the accountant. The accountant Root had a colleague named Kent. This individual was aware of Root bringing bribe information to Beth. When the company director heard the news, he directed Kent to find the killer and eliminate them. Kent has contacted Milton in order to locate a suitable assassin. He also recorded Milton's entire conversation. He then handed it over to Mike. Mick and Mac burst in at this precise moment. Big Ray, seeing Mike causing too much trouble, directed the entire assassin team to eliminate Mike. Mick and Mac charged in full force. Mac now has to wear a bracer because he was punched in the jaw. Mac then hurls grenades at Mike in rage, but Mike transforms into Ronaldo and kicks the grenade away. The grenade explosion stunned the other two, and Mike used the opportunity to take control of Mac's gun, but Mick accidentally shot Mac while Mike used his body as a shield. Mick is similar to a friend I have when I play video games. Following that, Mick was sprayed with a fire extinguisher and then knocked out. Outside, the poison assassin had ambushed Mike in the dark and climbed on his back to cover Mike's nose with a poison towel, but Mike was aware and held his breath. The assailant planned to stab him with a knife, but Mike stabbed him with his own and pushed him down the stairs. Finally, Mike met Fred, an easy target assassin with useless tools in his pocket, and he punched him and knocked him unconscious. Mike gently removed a poison bandage from Fred's pocket and walked away. Mike then visits the Vancap Company's director and meets a female assassin who specialized in katana. Big Ray sent her here to safeguard the elderly director. It was difficult at first since the female assassin was incredibly agile, with skills comparable to Mike's, but due to her lesser strength, she was quickly knocked over by Mike through the door. The director threw a katana to the female assassin, who struck frantically with her powerful weapon. Mike ducked smoothly and then attempted to utilize the lamp, but it was ineffective. He then used a suitcase, but was cut in half. As a result of the female assassin's reckless slash, Mike counterattacked and stole the sword to stab her. Plot armor once more. Then he went to the director and tried to bribe Mike with money, but he did not gain permission. Mike then sliced the Indian guy in the head. Mike returns to Big Ray and, much to Big Ray's chagrin, plays the recording. They discovered in the video that Kent had followed the director's orders and hired Milton to eliminate 3 people: his accountant brother Root, Mike's ex-lover Beth, and ultimately Charlie. He stated that he needed a single assassin to eliminate the other 3, and that after eliminating 3 of them, he would also eliminate the assassin to conceal the clues. They will pay 3 times the amount. As a result, Milton, who was desperate for money, sent Mike to kill his brother Root first, but knowing Mike would not kill Beth, he dispatched a young assassin to kill Mike, then assigned the others the task of killing Beth and Charlie. What a brilliant move. How does Milton think this will end if he hires a group of inexperienced assassins to kill a professional assassin and then murders his wife? Milton was assaulted and injured by Big Ray once everything was exposed. Serve him correctly. Mike then passed him the poison bandage, but Milton was unaware and he died a few minutes later. Everything is evident. And although Big Ray knows the truth, he is also furious since Mike destroyed the assassin organization with the assassin he raised. Finally, he let Mike go but severed all relations with him. The film concludes.